McTominay, Jadon Sancho, Manuel Ugarte, talk of the town regarding Manchester United transfers in this last week of the transfer window. Updates on Scott McTominay, Ugarte, and significant ones on Jadon Sancho coming in this midday show alone today. This is Forever United TV, guys. Welcome along to everything that's going on with Manchester United. That is what this show is all about. Please do make sure that you have subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the news that comes about. We go into every single little bit of news, not just covering the big headlines. We cover all of the smaller stories and anything that may have an effect on them bigger stories that are actually going on, which we are going to do today, as well as bring your opinions in the live chat, because we are more interactive and the midday show and the evening show. The morning show just gets us going for the day with all of the news, then we go into more details and add everything else in that's happened through the day and get all of your input alongside that. So please do give the video a like as well if you're loving the interactions and everything going on with the channel. Thank you, everybody. Let's get another 1,000 likes on this video if we can, and let's get cracking with all of the news. I wanted to start, for the sake of variety, with Scott McTominay and the situation which has been sort of forgotten about regarding where it is and what's happening with it, because of obviously the big news of Ugarte over the last 2 days has pretty much blown every other story out of the water. Jadon Sancho alongside that as well, but it is coming back, fighting back the Jadon Sancho side of things to be quite relevant within this transfer window and where we're actually at. But Scott McTominay and the Napoli situation, because that's significant now, because everybody wants to know about the outgoings. We're happy that we're probably going to get Ugarte over the line, but then as soon as that deal is done, everyone is going to be like, well, what's happening about the players that are leaving then? Why are we not hearing anything on that? Well, I'm about to just keep you up to date and go through all of that and tell you what is happening with Scott McTominay, because it did go under the radar. We did talk while the Ugarte story was being... Was it Thursday, Wednesday night? No, Wednesday night it really started to heat up on Ugarte. And within that news, Manchester United stands with McTominay, and where Napoli were actually at regarding Scott was going around as well a little bit, but forgotten about, as you'd expect, with the bigger stories going on, that Napoli have obviously made their stance clear with Scott. Apparently there is a bid in now. It is less than what Manchester United wanting for Scott McTominay, but the other report coming in with Scott was that Manchester United are going to drop their price for Scott over the coming days just to get the deal done and over the line. They see this as important to get things moving along with this window, and the importance of having money aside could be significant, like we said at the time, for the Manuel Ugarte deal to go through, in case United had to sort of succumb to the demands of the PSG. And like we spoke about the other day regarding the ego trip and the ego battle going on between both football clubs owners right now. And the fact that obviously the Qatari bid that failed having an effect on how Manchester United is dealing with PSG are going forward. But anything that you can secure around it, you cannot get taken away. So this is where it all changed with Manchester United this summer. Manchester United actually, in the old days, would have been fully concentrated on this one deal, that they wouldn't have got other things done. Now they've not let that affect them, because we've got an actual team in place, as we know, this summer. And we're getting the smaller deals done as well, like Kune, like Obi Martin, like all of the other youth academy players being signed up, trying to get rid of other players. We've got other transfers, significant transfers over the line as well. Like, we knew more about Ugarte way before any of the other signings came into Manchester United, really. You could probably say there was a rumour about Xerxes early on in the window, but Ugarte has been there for a while. He has been there since, around about June time, I think, the Ugarte rumours. And that's when it's built up from. So, significant that United are actually getting other deals done. And the fact that we have got this battle with PSG right now goes to show how organised we still actually are behind the scenes, because going and trying to get this deal done for Scott McTominay and get some money in is quite important, because if it came to it, all of the smaller deals do have an effect on the bigger one, which is Ugarte. So money in for Scott McTominay is crucial for United. It's very crucial in terms of how they want to make this work. Like, we have heard, like Duncan Castles has said, I think he said it in all of his reports that came out yesterday, which is more of a negative side of things on this deal where Ugarte is right now. You got Romano saying it's all pretty much done. You got Duncan Castles coming out and saying that PSG want the money up front. They want everything paid. as soon as possible. They don't want to do the loan. They don't want to wait for any payment for Manchester United. They are basically going to sting United, and that's the hold-up like we discussed the other day. So having Scott over the line and done is very important for the club. Why Manchester United have changed their mind on Scott McTominay, a lot of people would come in and say, well, Fulham were offering more than that, and we turned it down. Were they offering more than that? Because that's the report again. We just don't know. 23 million from Scott McTominay from Napoli could be enough, but there could be add-ons included in this as well. And it's important to remember that United are dealing with more than what every other football club is this summer, especially at the top of that Premier League anyway. We are having to deal with an awful lot of things holding us back. Obviously, we've got the anchors on in terms of really moving forward with what we want to do. So when Scott comes to the market with 1 year left on his contract after this season, everyone's going to take advantage of it. All anybody has said so far is like, why are the people that are probably not as good as Scott McTominay going for bigger money? Because they're on bigger contracts. And obviously everyone has seen, like there's been a report from David Ornstein today in The Athletic, and everyone has seen Manchester United in the past as the get out of jail card. Go there and get max amount of money, go there and get cheap players from them, go and get the players for bargain prices because they are useless when it comes to the recruitment and the transfer market. And that has changed. And it's been hard to sort of uphold the sort of principles that Ineos wanted to put in throughout this window because we are desperate to strengthen the squad as well. But as it stands right now, Napoli have a bid in place. United are obviously dropping their price according to reports. The bid and the report has come from the MEM regarding Scott's side of things. So it's whether or not Manchester United look at it as to the value of the player or the situation of Manchester United. Like, helping United out, getting 20-odd million in, yes, massively. Can we get more for Scott? Probably yes. Has that ship sailed last season? I think it did. I think we could have got the max out of Scott last season if we sold him. But again, when you've got the people in position that were last season in the big power seats at United, like the CEO and the director of football roles, then you're up against it instantly, aren't you? Up against it instantly. So, yeah, honestly, I look at Scott and I think United will take a smaller fee. But I think it has to happen before this weekend is done. I think, well, over the weekend we should get significant news. Because like I said, on Monday, I think United will just start calling it with certain players. If they are looking down the whole football side of things like they say they are, certain decisions are going to get made. They're not going to leave it till the last days of the window for getting rid of certain players. I mean, Scott plays a big role for Manchester United, so I can't see United going in on Scott McTominay and saying, look, we're going to see what we can get right at the end of the window. I think they'll make a decision at the start of the week, and I think we'll know if we actually get what we want for Scott. I think we'll know if we get the right price for United. By that I mean, like, I think United's intentions will be clear. If the price comes in around the 23, 25 million mark, whatever it is, if United have dropped it, I think Scott will be gone. But I still believe that United, there's probably more chance that Scott stays because he just can't get everything done in this short space of time. I mean, they made a mistake probably with McTominay not going to Fulham, but they backed the player because the player didn't want to go. So they stood by what they said at the start of the window by saying, look, if Scott wants to go, we're not going to push him out. If the right offer comes in, we'll approach Scott McTominay, but only if that offer is good enough for Scott and the project is what he wants, we will push Scott out of the door. Or not push him out the door, let him go, basically. And I don't think Fulham fit. He wanted to play at a higher level. Obviously, Napoli, you could say, is higher than Fulham, considerably higher. But still, a club needs to make a decision, and I do think it's impacting everything else. So, yeah, get your opinions in on that, guys. We'll talk about Scott first. I'm going to bring up everything else which is going on. I'm going to get into Jadon Sancho and Ugarte again next on their updates and what's going on. But I want to get your comments in now. A few people asking about the membership. I'm just going to double check now. I'm just going to drop a link in to the description as well, just for you guys so you could do it. I don't know why people are struggling with it. I don't know if it's something on YouTube, but if I just drop this in, just let me know if that works, guys, as well. But I'll just drop that in now into the live chat. I'll pin it up at the top so you guys have got it, and then you can move on from there. Just keep your comments coming in now, let me know, because a few people saying they're struggling with the membership things now. Speaking of poverty clubs, Barca still cannot re-sign registered Dani Olmo. Not sure why anyone would want to play there. Look how Neymar and Messi have had to sue them for wages. Barcelona are in a complete 2-8, aren't they? That club state, that means, by the way, that club is all over the place. I mean, having to sell, or not even, but just releasing Gundogan again, wage-wise, just so they can register Olmo. What an absolute state that football, a once great football club, is in right now. It's crazy. Let's see what else we've got. Get your comments in, guys. Jason Jones, McTominay ain't a 6, 8 or 10. He's basically someone you lump on to try and score a goal. You wouldn't bring him on to consolidate a 1-0 with 15 minutes left. Get rid. But he has come in handy doing that role, and he is a good squad player, Scott McTominay. I think he just gets a bad rep from everybody just because of the old McFred days, to be honest. I think he's been more effective since Fred's left. But a lot of people would still prefer Fred over McTominay from the McFred days. But, hey, each to their own. Everyone's got an opinion on him, what they think he's best at. But can we get better in the markets? Yes, we can. And I think that's where everyone's pushing their opinions towards regarding Scott McTominay. So let's just look at it that way and go, look, you know what? Scott is what he is, and hopefully United make the right decision. Hopefully Scott does as well. So let's see. We have just gone over 1,000 in the room, 10 minutes into the video, guys. Thank you so much. Only 200 likes in. Let's get them likes up. Everyone, please give the video a like. Let's get deep into your conversations now. Jason says, I wish YouTube channels would stop following BS news. Also, just talking about Ugarte. I don't want to talk about Ugarte. I didn't want to talk about Ugarte again today. I have got an update on him, Jason. But we are a football channel, fans, and we're talking football. We're talking United because it brings up other conversations. So reporting on stories like this, for me, also brings in a conversation of someone else's opinion on what they might think is better for United. Then we can discuss that as well. So they are relevant in a way. A lot of them, like you say, are bullshit. And we talk through and sieve through the ones that we think are really sort of got any sort of grip on anything going on, in reality terms, that is. But still, they do spike other conversations, which is important, and what I love about this channel more than anything, which is why I'm into the chat reading that comments, Jason. And thank you for it as well, mate. Let's just see. I've got a feeling Erik ten Hag is telling Scott he can stay out of pure loyalty for saving him his job. I think the importance of squad depth is in Ten Hag's mind with Scott McTominay more than anything. I do. Hello to you as well, Mr. C. Question says, IK, are Qatar really that petty? Do they really need the money? 10 million euros is pocket money for them. Qatar about power, nothing else. Money doesn't matter to the state-owned football clubs or state ownership model, anything. It doesn't matter. It's all about power. That's all it is. They'll throw tons and tons of money at anything, but the power is the thing. And if they've got someone who has actively taken the mick out of them after getting hold of the football club like Sir Jim Radcliffe has, in saying, are they actually real? Like questioning if they're actually a real ownership model or a real bid or real people as such, in what Sir Jim Radcliffe was saying, then they're going to get the hump about it. And I feel like there is an element to that. And this is why we're getting this sort of ego battle between the Qatari ownership model at PSG and the one at Manchester United. Because I think they're just saying, look, you've slagged us off. You've actually disrespected us in their eyes. And we're gonna rinse you for this deal. Like, you cannot get everything. You can't get everything that you want. And when it comes to Ugarte, you're not going to get him. Unless you pay what we want. Which is why I feel the 60 million euro, the 51 million pound bid, is going to be the one that gets Ugarte over the line. And United will probably just have to pay. Anthony says, Scott's departure will help us with financial fair play situation. But if he isn't sold, I won't be losing any sleep. He's on minimal wages and accepts his role as a squad player. Not a massive issue in my opinion. No, I'm with that one, Anthony. I think a lot of people are exactly the same. I've said that many times on shows. Look, I don't think that Scott is a problem for Manchester United. I don't think he is going to be a problem going forward. And really, it's about money. Can you utilise that homegrown talent in selling Scott? Yes, you can. Does it go a long way with PSR this season alone? Yes, it does. Which is why I feel United are only entertaining bids, because they know it helps massively. Getting rid of 4 academy players. Like, you've got 10 million for Cambuella. You've got 26 million for Greenwood. If you get another 25 million for Scott McTominay, 60 there, 2 million for Will Fish, another academy player there, 62 million homegrown talent, 100% profit goes an awful long way. So, yeah, that's why I think United are open to offers for Scott, and why we are actually considering selling him in the first place, because I don't think, like many have said in the chat there, that Ten Hag wants to let him go. I really don't. Please do. Also, guys, jump on to Tifo for the watch-along tomorrow. I am live from 12 o'clock. If you want to get involved, come on, have a video call with me as well and be part of the show. We do that as well on Tifo. We can talk transfers with United as well as the game. We're starting at 12. United away to Brighton, doing a watch-along on Tifo. The link is in the description. And guess one of the mods has put it up in the chat there, in the live chat as well. So please let us know. Please go and click on the link and get involved. Jake says McTominay saved Erik ten Hag's job and he's going to get game time with this manager. He'll get a new contract, 100%. Nah, I don't think so, Jake. Not a new contract. I think United will be releasing him next summer. I honestly feel like this is a big season for United, because they'll know where they are next summer, and Ineos won't think twice about moving players on. They already have massive, massive plans. Like the wage structure which will be saved, even if you don't get rid of Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire this summer, that's 400 grand a week in wages. And what that will save Manchester United annually for PSR is massive. And that is guaranteed to be off the books next season. Maybe even Lindelof leaving in this last week of the transfer window now. So that there, I feel, again, like Scott's not an issue with PSR in terms of what it's costing United, but it can help us massively to being able to afford more in this window. I think that's the only reason that Scott's name is being brought up. He is surplus to requirements, and we can get someone in better. And we have got young lads coming through, and in the best position I think he's in that forward midfield role, we've got better players there already that can start games. And if the system starts coming together, we can actually not need to bring Scott McTominay on out of sheer desperation constantly all of the time. London with a gifted membership that has gone to Mr. C. Welcome, Mr. C. Please do give a big thank you to London in the chat. Keep them likes coming in, creeping up to 300 likes, everybody. Thank you. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button as well if you are new to the channel. This is Forever United TV. Hopefully you're enjoying the free content, so please do make sure that you hit that subscribe button as well to make sure you miss out on nothing United news-wise. If McTominay was that... If he was that good, they'd be queuing up for him. McTominay is not good enough for United. Not good. No good. Just being a nice bloke to be around the place. He does nothing if he doesn't score. But scoring goals is big. Scoring goals is important. Forson, welcome to the Members Club. Gifted by Richard. Thank you, Richard. Legend again, mate. Love that. If they keep McTominay, it's one less midfielder they have to buy this year. I don't even think they're looking at it that way. I don't think it's like it used to be, like bodies in shirts for United, like just keeping all the players for the sake of it, just to have a squad. I think it's a case of United really needing to balance books with PSR and move players on that have actually got value, which can make room for other players coming through. And I think a lot of them players that are coming through are not necessarily going to be big signings that are made in the transfer window. I think it's going to be a lot of the younger, developed players coming through. And that is, I think, the model of United and the new structure. It is going to be bringing younger players through and helping them advance and progress through their careers. And it's like that Vival story this morning. It's like a progression plan. When have we ever heard of a progression plan at Manchester United? That's what we've brought in Kune for from Guiders. It is literally a fee given, cheap fee, player in, and then a plan. like a future plan for them players. He will play here for so many years. He will start training with the first team at this point, and then by then we will know and where his development is, and then he will start being utilised in the first team. It is a step-by-step process, even after the signing has been made. That doesn't happen at United. It didn't happen, but it is now. And this is the beauty of this new model that Manchester United are running. So, really impressed with how we're doing things. And eventually, them players will start to develop and come through, and we won't even have to spend as much in the market. We'll have quality talent coming through our own system. And that isn't just the academy players that have been in the academy for so many years. The English lads that have been scouted and brought in. It's all of the foreign players that are being picked off and brought in, the best talent from around the world, and popped right into the middle of that system to progress alongside everybody else. And eventually you'll have 10 good players, and within them, it's about, one or two of them pop through and make it into the first team. Then you've done your job. Making sure that them players that don't make it are then sold on, like fish, for a couple of mil, Camberwell, 10 mil. These players do need to be utilised in the transfer market as well. Let me see now. Okay, so into other news. Let's move on. I think we'll talk Jadon Sancho and what's happening there before we move into the Ugarte news. I'm just keeping a quick update on everything going on. Like, constantly right now, United, with everything happening, we need to be on top of everything. So we're good on that department. I have got an update on Ugarte myself. I'll go through with you guys. But I want to talk Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho, first of all. We were going on to this morning as to what Damasio was saying, Fabrizio Romano, and a few other people regarding Sancho and the Juventus bid. Now, Chris Hurst from The Times, I know well, spoke to Chris, follow each other. I've interviewed Chris before as well. He is saying that Juventus are now looking to make an official bid. So we talked about the interest in Jadon Sancho and opening up talks. We're now expecting a offer to come in for Jadon Sancho. So exciting, yes, because that means that they are well and truly in. Now, where has this news come about from? Obviously, Juventus are trying to move Chiesa on, as we know. And there is another story and another bit to this, which is of Jadon Sancho going to Juventus because they've moved Chiesa on, and it looks like he's going to Inter Milan. Inter Milan are ready to offer Chiesa mega bucks in terms of a wage package to attempt him away from Inter Milan. They know the importance of that. Why are Inter Milan offering lots of money to Chiesa where no one else is? Because obviously, there's the rivalry there. Juventus don't want to sell to a direct rival, but they want to bring a player in who they feel is going to help them get to the next level. So, Inter Milan are having to go above and beyond to tempt Chiesa away from Juve, and they're ready to offer him mega wages. So, there is confidence at Juventus that Chiesa will leave, freeing up the money then for Juventus to buy Jadon Sancho. And this is where the offer, or supposed offer, is coming in. Which Chris Hurst has been talking about from the Times this lunchtime, and why we're getting this news coming through now. Jadon Sancho and Juventus has got movement in it, and this is good because we've also got the Chelsea side of things and the loan situation there, and that offer that could come in, loan with obligation. Juventus might go down the same road, or Juventus might actually try and get Jadon Sancho cheaper to get him out of the door at Manchester United this summer. Depending on what they do regarding Chiesa, what it is I feel is better suited for them to do a loan with obligation to buy, because they can balance their financial books for this year because they're not having to fork out too much straight away. And obviously they need to be able to afford Jadon Sancho's wage package, which we reported this morning is a bit of a problem for Juventus in terms of what they can finance in terms of wages with the rest of the squad as well. Now, we know, obviously, I said earlier on, they'd offered Rabiot, I think, 150 grand. I think it was 150 to 180 to stay at the football club, and he didn't want to take that. So we know that they have got money there financially to invest into wage structure-wise. But also, you've got the chance to, there, if you're Juventus, not have Rabiot in the side, but get rid of Chiesa. Therefore, you've already got that wage that you were going to give to Rabiot. You've then got the wage of Chiesa to then work together and get Jadon Sancho. Now, I don't think they're going to throw everything together just to get Jadon Sancho. I mean, it'd be ridiculous. He's not worth that. But still, you have to look at how clubs can afford certain players and what they can do to make it happen. And it does look like Juventus have actually got room to afford Jadon Sancho's wages if they get rid of certain players, i.e. Chiesa, without having to pay that transfer fee this summer. Then, obligation-wise, that settlement will come the following summer, where instalments will probably start, I'm guessing, because I don't think Juventus would still be able to fork out just 40 million straight away. I think that will also be in instalments to suit Manchester United. So, United getting him out is important, and having Jadon Sancho out of the way is vital for United. And it's going to be interesting to see what this first offer is actually coming through, which Chris Hurst has been reporting. So, yeah, it's going to be crucial over this weekend, I feel, for quite a few deals. We talked about Scott McTominay there, obviously Jadon Sancho as well. So, really intrigued to see what happens over the weekend with these deals, then going into the weekend and taking that from there. JT says, Chiesa is an absolute shadow of a player he was pre-ACL injury. He hasn't come back strong. Superfat Frank says, Erik ten Hag started all of this by making derogatory comments about Sancho's training. Look, if he didn't want to train and he stormed off in front of the whole squad, the manager has to make a stance. We don't know what's happened there. I'm guessing ten Hag has given him multiple opportunities. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We can go through all of the if, buts and maybes of what's happened behind the scenes. At the end of the day, nothing's going to change from this point forward, is it? Ten Hag has got his contract extension. Ten Hag is the Man United manager. So we have to work on what works best for him, and Jadon Sancho doesn't. So move on. It's as simple as that. Sometimes you have to be that cutthroat. You do. Let's see if we can get up to that 400 like mark, guys. Keep liking the video. We have over 1,100 in the room with us right now. Please do keep them likes pumping up, and make sure you have subscribed if you are new. It is a simple task. Bottom right hand corner, just click on that link and you are in, guys. So please do subscribe to make sure you miss out on none of this free content, which is coming to you daily, 3 times a day, 7 days a week, keeping you up to date with everything going on with your beloved Manchester United. Jake says, to be fair, falling out with Sancho has cost the club a good few million. Everyone keeps forgetting about what we got back off Dortmund last season, though. I think we did get in the region of about 8 million back, so we have got something at least. I know his wages cost like 30 million a year, and it falls into complete insignificance on that part, but still, you've got to look at it and say, look, it wasn't a complete loss. And you know what? If we do get 40 million for Jadon Sancho eventually, then that's fine. That's job done. No brainer. I think in football finance terms, that's a good deal. Bought him for what? Was it 75 million? I think it was, Jadon Sancho. If we get 40 million back after 4 years, I'm saying that after this season has passed, with him out on a loan with obligation, then, yeah. Honestly, no problem. See you later. It looked good at the time, didn't work out. Move on, get what you can. And United looking ahead. Jadon Sancho, we don't even have to think about it or mention his name. A lot of people have come into the comment section after the video. Just go. I'm sick of hearing his name. Let's just get him out of here. Again, I'll say it. This wasn't Jadon Sancho's fault. It was Manchester United's fault. They're the ones that did all of the recruiting before. They're the ones that were bigging up Jadon Sancho and the only one in for him. Paying his stupid wages. This is all the club's fault and the old regime. Any player is going to take exactly what they can from Manchester United if they're offered that contract. You've just seen it with Wan-Bissaka and going to West Ham. It's exactly the same scenario. They're not going to sit there and say, okay, I'll just go then. Well, no, I want my pockets lined as well, because that's what's drilled into them by their agents. We said that this morning as well. And you have to question the players. You have to question the players' sort of look on it as well. Like, what's more important to him, money or football? If your football is right, the money will come. That's inevitable. Or do you realize? Or do you actually just take what you can, while you can, in the short time? It's a short career, I know that, and players obviously struggle once the careers are over. But I just said it this morning, and I made a point of it, and I'll just say it one more time again. Would you rather get that big chunk of change that you can get from United over the next 2 years now in a payout, or would you look to the next 6 to 8 years of your career and how much you can earn then? Because all anyone is going to see of you after this is a money-grabbing player which underperformed and thinks he's already made it. And who else is going to take you on? And then your wages will get less and less and less and less. And you'll think back and go, I was right, wasn't I, when I got that 26 million out of United for 2 years? Really? When you could have earned so much more by actually being a proper professional footballer and trying to take your game to the next level again. And then even more than that. Balance it out, I think he'll end up losing money if he tries to stay at United, even though it looks good now. That makes sense anyway. Let's get some more of your chats in. Mr. C is saying Sancho isn't hitting the levels in training isn't derogatory in any shape or form. Ten Hag gave him 3 months off in the middle of a packed season to get his head straight, which gets ignored. True. Would there be one United supporter that wants Sancho to stay? There's plenty, mate. Honestly, there are plenty of Manchester United supporters that want to keep Jadon Sancho. A few have spoken to me. A few have sort of gone in on me. As you'd expect, his social media world. But some are trying to argue his point as well. And do you know what? Like, everyone's got the right to their side. And we probably hear Jadon's side of things once he leaves Manchester United properly. So, yeah, let's just see what happens from there. United Spotlight says, I said this morning Sancho doesn't care about playing. If he did, he would be playing for us. He's cut from the same cloth as Pogba and Lingard. He's not bothered. I mean, to be honest, like, I just don't think he's that good. I keep saying it. People saying, like, if Jadon Sancho wanted to play football and was bothered about football, he'd be playing for United. Look, he's not been that good at United. Yeah, he was great at Dortmund, and I think there is a player there, but for United, we can only look at what he's done in a red shirt, and it's been shit. It really has. He's not worth it. He's not worth the hassle, I don't think. He's not worth fighting for, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't mean that in any sort of over-the-top disrespectful way to him. I hope he does find his feet, and he does become that player that he probably was. And everyone was raving about back in his early days at Dortmund. But for United, we're in a position where if we keep clinging on to these sorts of players, then we're just going to fall further and further behind. So, yeah, personally, I just don't think he's worth all of the hype about what he actually is in the first place. I don't think he is that fantastic player. And he definitely hasn't been a fantastic player for Manchester United. 100% no. Christopher says, Europe Club don't have money like they used to, so I can see Sancho staying, getting his big wages at United, going out on loan for the next 18 months, then walk away out of United, going to a club back in Germany. Could well be. I think United will make sure that their pockets are lined within that time as well. If he keeps going out on loan, they'll make sure that they will get their bits of money as well out of Jadon Sancho, like we did against Dortmund. With Dortmund, I think ultimately you could, even if you had to loan Jadon Sancho out the next couple of seasons, I think United will make sure that his wages are paid, if anyone is going to do that. And they would take a fee out of it as well. And I think that fee would be like we did with Dortmund. Certain levels get to 10 million. Maybe you could get another 20 million out of Jadon Sancho if you'd loaned him out for the next 2 years and then he went on a free. One way or another, Ineos will make sure that their pockets are lined as well, and they're not giving Jadon Sancho away for nothing. It's not like it was before. Worst case scenario, he does do that and ends up leaving for free. I think we still will get a little bit of money back before that happens as well, though. So, yeah. 6 likes away from the 400 mark, guys. Well, live. Thank you, everyone. Keep them likes coming in. See how close you can get to that 500 mark. Jadon Sancho leaves, like the video. That's what we're saying right now. Moving on to the Manuel Ugarte update that I was promising you on what is actually going on with him right now. L'Equipe have come out. You can see the tweet right at the bottom of your screen there in the updated tweet section. Manuel Ugarte is waiting for the green light from his agent, Jorge Mendes, to give him... he's waiting for his agent, Jorge Mendes, to give him the green light to travel to England. There is no longer any doubt that Ugarte will join United. The details are being ironed out. That's come from L'Equipe as well earlier on within the last hour on Manuel Ugarte. As you guys probably would have seen, he has been left out of the PSG squad to play Montpellier this weekend. So out of the squad again, not playing any game time at all, not being risked. So worst case scenario, you can say, and what likes of Duncan Castles have said, and like how this deal is nowhere near done yet, and there is arguments between the owners. Look, when a player isn't playing games, it usually means that there is a very, very big chance that a deal is close and not being risked because of it. So, yeah, no matter which way you look at it, we've got a week to wait max on Manuel Ugarte coming to Manchester United. That's it. And that's no drama, I don't think. Just play out what you've got to play out. As long as you get the right deal now, if there's only one player to go for, and this deal isn't going to get in the way of everything else happening, like we've seen, like we said, like Obi Martin is going to be finalised, Romano said, very, very soon. The compensation to Arsenal for the academy player is just being ironed out now. On that side of things, we've seen Kune come in as well. So the small little bits are still being moved around. We've got rid of a few academy players. Ogielli has gone. Obviously, Fish and Vitek out of the door as well. So deals getting done. Hopefully it doesn't get in the way of Scott McTominay, which is why I wanted to bring up the McTominay story alongside these two other big stories. We talked plenty about Sancho and Ugarte, but McTominay is significant as well. I feel like that will be the big one. Deals can happen in the last week, I feel, for Hannibal and Lindelof. They're the ones to keep an eye on. Possibly Christian Eriksen. None of them players are going to get significant game time at United, if any, this season now. And they all three of them need to go. And what United get together for them could be significant enough in making something happen in the transfer market in the in column as well. So what we're looking at, really, when we break it down, looking at the last week of the window, you've got Jadon Sancho, Victor Lindelof, Hannibal Mejbri, and Eriksen. 4 players. Scott McTominay even, 5. Significant movement could happen this week for all 5 of them players. If Sancho goes, McTominay goes, and all of the others go, you could be looking at upwards of 70 to 80 million for all of them players. And that is significant. And would United then go in for a striker late on in the window? I don't know. The reality side of me says we'll probably end up getting rid of Hannibal and possibly one of Lindelof and Eriksen. Scott McTominay will go and Sancho will go on loan with obligation, hopefully. So not as much money, but still a decent amount and more than enough to balance books. I don't think that would go towards bringing another forward, though. If Sancho is sold out right, I think United will bring another forward in. I don't think he will be, though. I don't think Juventus have got the money. I think it will be loan obligation, like has been reported. Ugarte will come in. So, yeah, we've got a possible 6 or 7 deals to watch out for over this next 7 days, really. Mainly on the outside of things, but I think the big business has already been done. The icing on the cake will be a Ugarte deal to United over the coming days, as we know, which will be a very, very good window. And Ugarte in and no one else leaving, for me, is it's like 7/8 out of 10. Because I put into context like everything that's happening with United right now and what the club has had to deal with. So, really, I look at it and go, I think 7 or 8 with Ugarte in. You get Sancho out, Ugarte in, McTominay out. Oh, that's a 9 out of 10 window. It's a 9 out of 10 window. And well done, United. That's all I'll say with that. But, yeah, I mean, everybody's given their own opinions on how they rate this window. Some people expected a bit more. They wanted more players out of the door. But it doesn't always go that way, does it? It doesn't always work that way. So, really, we just have to look at what we've had to deal with, what we have done, and now, hopefully, Ten can put this into practice. We're a week away from the transfer talk all out of the way, and the season officially really the only thing that we can talk about, and then it's all pressure on Ten Hag. Right now, Ineos is hot topic. Ashworth, Baradas, certain players all over the place. This is all hot topic, but eventually, a week tomorrow, when we're going into that weekend just before we go away for international break, the 3rd game of the season, Liverpool on a Sunday, all eyes start to refocus onto Baldy's best in Erik Ten Hag, and that is when we will be either really excited for the season ahead or concerned that some of the same old traits from last season are creeping in. Big week for United. Massive week for United, in fact. And it all starts tomorrow. We'll be talking more about the Brighton game later on in the evening show tonight as well, looking ahead to that. So, yeah, make sure that you are tuned on. Make sure that you have subscribed to Forever United TV. Don't forget, guys, I keep saying it, but it is free content. Constantly, 3 times a day, every single day. So please do make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification at the same time so you miss nothing regarding Manchester United. Any news on or off the pitch, we got you covered here. And thank you, everybody, again. New members, mods in the chat for the live show this lunchtime. That is everything up to date so far. And we'll keep you fully in the loop with everything going on if anything breaks before the 6:30 show this evening. But until then, have a great afternoon, everyone. Friday afternoon, I think we can safely say the weekend is here and the countdown to kickoff is well and truly on. I love it. Please do get your comments in below, guys. In the description is the link to your chance to win tickets for this next weekend's game against Liverpool. Hospitality tickets with our partners Football Prizes. The link is in the description, guys. So click onto that and give yourself a chance. Get your tickets for that. I think you've got about another 3 days before that draw is rolled out. So grab your opportunity now. And yeah, thank you, everyone. Watch along link is in the description as well. Get onto that. I love you all. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And I'll see you all probably with a beer later this evening. 6:30, going over everything that's happening tomorrow. And hopefully talking some more significant updates regarding United on the transfer front as well from this afternoon. Until then, have a good one. And I'll see you all later on, everyone.